A warm welcome to my dear CS students. So before going into this session, I just want to take a quick glance over a past session. So in the past session, what we have seen? Yes, that operating system, that is first one is types of software. What is meant by software? What is meant by hardware? So software is nothing but set of instruction given to the computer to do a specific task. Okay, so what are the types of systems? Software. Okay, so what are the types of software? That is, there are three types. That is, first one, system software, application software, and utility software. So application software is nothing but it is a simple software that you can use only for the purpose of a single purpose. Okay, so if it is, for example, the hotel management, and hotel management is an application software which is useful only for the management of hotels, not for others. Okay, so that is the software that can be used for the purpose of that a single purpose. Okay, so that is application software. Second one is system software. So software is nothing but, don't forget, it is a set of instruction given to the computer. Okay, then system software. So system software, it controls all the hardware units attached to your computer. So under that system software, what we have seen? Operating system. So operating system is nothing but it is also a software, that is, operating system contains the programs. Okay, operating system contains the programs which you can use as an interface between the hardware and you. Okay, so the machine contains many peripherals. Peripherals is nothing but the devices, that is keyboard, monitor, CPU, extra device drivers, printer, everything we have. So what are all those? So who will control all these hardware units? The only solution is operating system. So operating system is very important and is the first loadable program in a computer. So after you switching on the computer, what will happen? After you switching on the computer, that operating system resides in the read-only memory. What is read-only memory? ROM is the device, that is memory unit. It is present inside the CPU. The operating system, it will reside into the ROM only. Okay, so in this ROM we have that operating system. Okay, so in this ROM we have BIOS also. So what is meant by BIOS? That is basic input output system. That basic input output system resides in BIOS will bring the operating system into the main memory. Okay, so that BIOS is nothing but basic input output system. That basic input output system will make the operating system into your main memory. Okay, so after getting into the main memory, that is nothing but after loading the first program as an operating system program, after that you can run whatever the application software that it reside on its operating system. Okay, so what are the application softwares? As you know very well, word processing, Excel software, so word spreadsheet, everything. So that all other programs what you are using for your purpose is called application software. That application software will reside on the operating software. That operating system it should bring back into your main memory always. Okay, that ROM, that read-only memory, it never sleeps. It won't sleep. It is always active mode. Okay, so after you switching on, immediately it will call the operating system, so that operating system will evaluate and will stipulate all the application software resides on it. Okay, so this is the operating system work, and it is very important as it controls all the functions of hardware devices attached to you. Okay, so to your system. Okay, so that is the operating system. We have seen it. It manages device management, file management, process management, all the managements. Okay, so this is a first type in system software. Now I am going to ask a single question. Why do we need system software? Can you remind? Can you go through what is that? Why do we need system software? Can you tell me the answer? Yes. Why do we need system software? I know English and you know Tamil. How does a computer know Tamil and English? So in our world, so many languages are there. Okay. So how does a computer know all the languages? So the answer is no. It cannot understand any of our human languages. It understands only the machine language. What is the machine language contain? The machine language contains the binary format, that is zeros and ones. Okay, so the machine can understand machine language only. Okay, we know our language. So, in order to provide an interface between our language and the machine language, we need a particular thing that is called interface. That interface is nothing but your system software. Now, can you understand why do we need system software? The system software will provide an interface between the computer and the user, isn't it? So, now the first thing is system software's classification. Under that we have seen operating system. So, the second one is we are going to see compiler, interpreter, assembler. What is that? Compiler, interpreter and assembler. So before going into compiler, interpreter and assembler, we should know three languages. Okay, so the first one is machine language. What is machine language? The language which can be understood by the computer, by the machines. It should be in zeros and ones. Okay, so whatever the languages you have written, that is none of the business of the computer that has to be done. It should understand only the machine language. At an end, in the machine, it should be machine language. Okay, and then second one is your assembly language. The assembly languages usually it will be denoted as mnemonics. What does mean by mnemonics? So for your addition process, they will use some mnemonics like ADD, multiplication, MUL, divide, DIV. Okay, so all your that washing machines and embedded systems, you will have all these machine languages. Okay, microprocessor, microcontroller, all this microprocessor and microcontroller will have this assembly language programming codings. And high level language. What does mean by high level language? That is nothing but our English language. Okay, so what we are doing as a program. So I hope that you just know about a word of programming languages like C, C++, okay, C++, Java, Python, etc. So all these are all high level language since it is understandable by the human but not understandable by the computer. So this thing, it should be converted to the assembly language. Okay, so that assembly language should be converted into machine language. Okay, can you understand what I am telling? That human understandable language should be converted into your machine language. So for that purpose, we are going to study about your system software. So for that purpose, we are having two things, that is compiler and interpreter. So compiler, it do the following things, that is it converts or translates high level language into your machine language. So what is meant by your high level language? That is your programming languages. All the programming languages should be written in your high level language, because we don't know machine language. We know only that high level language. Okay, that is like English. Okay, so all your Python, C, C++, all the programs are written in English languages. So that English languages should be converted to the machine languages, so the compiler will do. And then interpreter also do the same thing. So what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Compiler, it reads all the programs and convert into your machine language. That is called all in one go. Okay, it reads all the lines of your program and create an executable code, and it creates an executable code. That executable code should be converted into your machine language. It is a compiler. So what does the interpreter do? The interpreter reads line by line, and simultaneously it converts the high level language into your machine language. So it will translate all the things in by line, but compiler will get the executable code after reading all the lines of codes, and it converts. Okay, now tell me, what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Compiler will produce the executable code, but interpreter does not produce executable code. Okay, so the compiler is very slow in process, whereas interpreter is very fast in process, because it simultaneously read the line and it executes. So there is no what? There is no waiting time for getting all the lines to be executed. Okay, so for that purpose we are doing compiler and interpreter. Now for example, in this 11th standard you're going to study Python. So Python, it is an interpreter languages. Java uses an interpreter, but C++ uses compiler. So in Python it reads line by line and simultaneously it will produce the machine language codings. It translates. So both are doing translation process, but the difference is compiler will read all the line, but interpreter will read line by line and simultaneously producing the machine language. Okay, so this is the difference between compiler and interpreter. And the next thing is assembler. Assembler is also one of the system software, because assembler, if you are writing a program in assembly language, that also should be what? Converted into your machine language. So for that purpose we are using assembly language. So assembly language translate the assembly languages into your machine language. Okay, that is the purpose of assembler. Okay, so now can you understand assembler, compiler, interpreter? Yes. Okay, so after this I just want to ask a question. Okay, what is meant by booting and restarting? Okay, so in this is a practical question actually. So in this practical quest, you should know booting a process. Booting a process, they are telling. What is meant by the booting process? Do you think the booting means just starting a computer? Then why did they use the term booting? Yes, the booting, it requires some steps. Okay, that's why they have kept a name called a process called booting. Can you understand? So in this booting, so we are going, I just go to explain what it is. Actually, the system software, application software, and then utility software. Then application software you know very well, and utility software, it is used for disk cleaning, like antivirus softwares. Okay, the disk cleaning, and then your compression, disk fragmentation, backup, file management. Okay, for all these purpose we are using utility software. Actually utility software and the system software won't do anything for you, the application software only do for you. And then these two things will be using only for the household keeping things, like a computer. It manages the computer function, it isn't useful for you. Okay, so the antivirus will not be used out by you, it will only for the purpose keeping the file safely. Okay, so that is the purpose of your utility software. Okay, so now can you understand what is meant by system software, utility software, and your application software? Okay, so after finishing this, I just want to give a practical quest. What is meant by practical quest? That is, it is a practical learning. Okay, so it won't be asked for your question, or it is not in your syllabus, but you should know what is that. Okay, so the thing is booting. What is meant by booting? Starting a computer. Okay, it has the process starting a computer, but it doesn't mean that only the starting of a computer. First step is you should start the computer. After starting the computer, that already I told you that OS, it will not reside in your main memory. The process, that is your BIOS in your ROM, that is read only memory, it will load the operating system into the main memory. It will bring the main memory, bring into the main memory, and you should bring it into the main memory, and you should run the program, run the application. So this is called booting. So there is two types, that is warm booting cold booting. So warm booting is nothing but, that is cold booting is nothing but it is a slow process, because it is called starting. That is, the operating system will not reside in your main memory. Okay, so you should bring the main memory, bring the operating system files into your main memory. That is called warm boot, that is cold booting. Whereas warm booting is restarting. What is meant by restarting? Already the operating system, it is in the main memory, but simply for fastening the process, you are going to restart. That is called warm booting. So cold booting is always slower, whereas warm booting is faster, because it will not take time to bring back the operating system into your main memory. Okay, so that is the thing for booting. And I'm going to give another thing called that browse, that is Google Corner. In this Google Corner, you have to surf the net and find out the answers. Okay, so I'm going to tell only one single question, so that you have to Google it and try to give the answers. Okay, during my session, list out some of the commonly used, currently used operating system. That is, you should know what are the operating systems now the companies are using. Okay, so that you have to surf it, and whoever is ready to know all these things, you can do. Okay children, so kindly do the homework. I have given the PDF file already. In that PDF file, you have to finish from 25, 26, 27 page numbers. I have given a homework. Kindly do the homework simultaneously what I am giving, so that you should pose the work properly, so that I can understand your listening. Okay, thank you so much children.